I sent a lot of messages the day we bought $250 million worth of Bitcoin, but about half of the OGs didn't answer. He says, but I'm on Palm's podcast. Do you have a question for me? I told him. Yeah, I saw that Jack Dorsey likes Bitcoin. He writes about it on Twitter. He seems to understand how important it is. He's the CEO of Square, a public company. Do you want to go with me and ask Jack if he'll buy some Bitcoin? And Palm says, that's interesting. And then, after a few weeks or maybe a month, Square said they bought Bitcoin. Yes, that changed everything. When they did that, I thought, okay, we're good now. This year, two major events have caused Bitcoin to hit all-time highs. The latest halving event and the approval of the January spot ETF. Because of this, the price of the coin has gone up over 60% so far this year and was trading only 6% below its all-time high set in March. Even though these events pushed up the price of Bitcoin, they are now over, and buyers are looking for the next thing that could make it go up. Analysts say there are a number of things that could keep driving up the price of Bitcoin. Here are 4 triggers that are coming up. Cuts in interest rates. Investors are paying close attention to what the Federal Reserve says about its plans to cut interest rates. When interest rates go down, speculative investments like Bitcoin tend to rise in value. In 2021, Bitcoin reached all-time highs, thanks in large part to the very low interest rates. When the Fed started its effort to tighten money, the rally turned around. Mike Novogratz, CEO of Galaxy, said that Bitcoin will probably trade between $55,000 and $73,000 until short-term interest rates go down, changing the rules. Also, people in the crypto community want more information about regulations, which have been a problem for Bitcoin in the past. Because of a court decision, the Securities and Exchange Commission's approval of a spot ETF was a big step forward. The way the law feels about crypto seems to be changing, and the upcoming stablecoin bill could be a big part of this. CNBC talked to Owen Lowe, executive director of Oppenheimer, who said that this bill might be passed as soon as this year. Also, the U.S. House of Representatives just passed a complete regulatory framework for the crypto industry. This is seen as a win for the sector, but it's still not clear what will happen with it in the Senate. This approach might make the rules for the crypto world more clear. So we did this search and thought about things like art, real estate, buying the index, and buying big tech companies. But you can't just buy stocks because of rules. If your business is publicly traded, you usually can't have more than 40% of your cash on hand in securities. So you can't just spend $500 million on SPY. However, even if you did, there is a practical matter to consider. If you told all of your investors, we just took all this money and invested it in the SPY, they would say, well, that's not unusual, that's the most common strategy you could use. Give us the money back. Even a 12-year-old could do it. We learned about the idea of gold and then gave it some thought. The digital gold was chosen because it was better than the gold gold. In 2024, we thought it would be a good idea to combine the benefits of hard money, a non-sovereign store of value, with the benefits of Apple, Google, Facebook, and Amazon, a big tech global dominant network. This would be like putting the idea of investing in technology with the idea of investing in hard money. It was the only smart thing to do at the time because they were going to give the money back to the owners, which is a quick death. Return the money, get rid of your goods, and return your capital. When you lose your financial capital, you also lose your human capital. This is because options and stock options are worthless if you don't have any money on hand and your business isn't volatile. You don't have enough money to pay your workers too much. So you'll probably lose the workers, and in 3 to 6 years, the product won't be able to compete. I didn't really like the fast death. You might as well sell the business if you're going to do that. The slow death is set on $600 million in cash. With that much cash, we could run a business loss for 20 years, but you're just waiting to die, right? There's no way you can beat Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, and Google. It would be like hiding in your fortress while the enemy is outside. They're going to starve you to death. Okay, I have food for 7 years in my citadel, but they're going to burn all my fields, mess up my water supply, and take over the rest of the world while I'm here? When I come out in 7 years, no one will remember me, so that's not good. The last thing you do is ride out of the fortress, which is dangerous. Take a stand, join the fight, make up your mind. And at that time, Team Bitcoin was the clear choice. The crypto movement was the clear choice. It came with a lot of risk, but the other option was either a slow or fast death. The progress we've made in 4 years doesn't surprise or upset me. Yes, we did. I think there's been a change in the Bitcoin community's mind to look further into the future. I believe there has been a change for the better in the media, especially on the business TV networks. A while ago, Some people were upset that no one talked about Bitcoin or this scam. With the help of CNBC, Bloomberg, and Fox, I think Bitcoin became a real asset class. A lot of private companies also got very engaged. Private investors write me letters, and everyone I meet tells me, "Oh, I watched one of your videos and I finally got Bitcoin. I started to buy a lot." There are a lot of individual investors, families, and businesses. And he always asked that question, like in my first show with Pomp. He would ask a question at the end of the day and then leave. I watched his old show and saw that he always ended with, "So do you have a question for me?" When I saw that, I knew I had to ask him something. Like I told a lot of people in a message that they only bought $250 million worth of Bitcoin, and about half of the OGs didn't answer. But I'm on Pomp's show. He tells her, "You have a question for me?" I told him, "Yeah, I saw that Jack Dorsey likes Bitcoin. He writes about it on Twitter." He seems to understand how important it is. He is the CEO of Square, a public company. "Would you like to work with me? We should ask Jack to buy some Bitcoin." Pomp says, "That's pretty cool." And then, after a few weeks or maybe a month, Square said they bought Bitcoin. Yes, I do remember that. That changed everything. I thought, we're good now when they did the thing. We're going to get it.